remorse, no cases pinned. I got the rolling flooded, soaking wet, but ain't been swimming. I'm the man now, ain't I? Work a plan now, can't I? I remember when you lame player, hated a player, now the same lame player. They call a player male. What you talking? Talking that's funky. It's about my face, wearing that monkey. Not that. That might give you life advice. Get some money.
It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Green Bay Packers and the Atlanta Falcons. Team set to lace it up. This ought to be fun, and we're underway on EA Sports.
And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone.
They'll start out on the ground with Jones.
And a short pickup to about... It'll be second down.
He's brought down by Deion Jones. A gain of 4. It's now second and 6 at the 27-yard line.
Following the pickup of 4, here's second and 6.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. Second down and long. Throwing now is Rodgers. And he will find the open man. It's DJ Moore. A gain of 4 last play. They double that here and get 8. To avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4. Now it's Rodgers.
And that nearly an opening drive INT, but it does fall incomplete. Not the way you wanted to start this ball game as it brings up 4th down.
So on 4th down, on is the punter Pat O'Donnell to kick it away. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. So a change of possession here on the punt.
And it will be Falcon football.
At their own 24-yard line.
Falcons 1st and 10 here as Ritter gets them ready.
At their own 24. They'll start this drive out on the ground. Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a first down.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
Straight ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. And he fires one incomplete.
The Falcons had 0-1 in the year following the loss in the opener. And they were given a gift of 2 straight home games to start the campaign. Dropped one of them already. You have to figure a split of these two probably imperative.
And they did talk about that with us prior to the game, about how important it is to start the season 1-1, especially with 2 games at home. Because if you go 0-2, hard to make those up on the road as the season progresses.
Packer pressure, and down he goes.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
And, Charles, part of the reason they lost last week, they didn't have a single sack. Well, they changed that quickly.
But did they ever? And it was something they talked about with us extensively. They needed to get pressure. How were they going to get to the quarterback? Obviously, they schemed themselves into a great play, didn't they?
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
Wishnowski on to punt as he sends this one away.
Fair catch called for and made right at the 25-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Now let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play.
That too.
It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a third down.
The job of any linebacker involves having enough strength to fight off a blocker and get the ball carriers. But in this case, I think we can safely say he beat him right off the snap to get into the backfield and make that play.
Five men in the secondary now for the Falcons on third down. Here's Rodgers. Got an open man. It's Michael Gallup. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. His first catch there. Good for 10 yards and a first down.
Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, and he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the first down.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple. Again, it's Jones. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, and now they go from second and 2 to a tough third and 4.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
To throw, it's Rodgers. Out of the backfield, this is Aaron Jones. And the tackle going to be made at the 38. Now a timeout called for by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So here's Here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. First carry now for A.J. Dillon. And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards. 2nd down.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved up the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Forced out to his left. Throwing left side, it's complete. And that's going to be good for another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 17-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. Dillon now on 1st and 10. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
On 2nd and 11 now. Rodgers escaping the pressure right. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end. Complete. 2 yards on the pickup there. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. He was out there waving his arms. And when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
They're 2 for 2 on 3rd down conversions on this drive. This one tough. They need 9 yards on 3rd down. Throwing is Rodgers. This is caught. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That's a sharp throw right there on 3rd down. They're looking to get the first points of the game, and they certainly don't want to be on a field goal. So that's a nice job to get the hookup and set up a 1st and goal.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
2nd and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. Rodgers tapping this forward on the jet sweep, and he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they've run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
Rodgers now on 3rd and goal. Being chased out left. And it's a Packers touchdown. A great effort there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Packers post the first points of the ball game as they take the lead here in this 2nd quarter. Well, down in this part of the field, CD, they'd love to get him the football, and right there, a little pitch and catch for the score.
Yeah, and he's such a weapon when it's that close to the end zone, and they love being able to rely on him to make those kind of catches. Talk about trust, talk about confidence, and he produces.
Extra point up and good from Santoso. And it's now a 7-0 game. After the touchdown on is Pat O'Donnell to send this one away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
Okay, ready?
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. They'll be looking to match that touchdown from a moment ago. 7-0 is the score as they begin with a 1st down. Now the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Making that play on the pass rush, that's Devontae Wyatt. And they weren't in zone coverage, they were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for third down.
That's a good bounce-back play right there after taking a sack on first down. Didn't quite get it to the marker, but now they're in a much better spot for a third and short yardage call. If you're the offensive coordinator, you like looking at that section a heck of a lot better than trying to figure out third and long.
And this is not going to be enough. Was in search of 2 yards and only got halfway there.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's third down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the first down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
They're going to try and throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Packers are going to get the football back in excellent field position. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Here's Rodgers to throw. He's got a man. It's his tight end. That's complete.
And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. They'll motion the tight end across the formation.
50. Hey, check 26.
To throw is Rodgers. And it's caught. Touchdown.
Aaron Jones,
his first touchdown here of the new campaign.
And the Packers go up by 2 touchdowns. So it takes them just 3 plays here to find the end zone. And you remember, of course, this was all set up by their defense.
Yeah, they got the stop on 4th down, so I imagine the offense said to their defense, thank you very much for this great starting field position. And like you said, 3 plays later, they're in the end zone.
After the touchdown, on is Pat O'Donnell to send this one away. And this is going to be returned from middle of the end zone. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line. So bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision. Loses him about 4 yards.
About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line.
Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. Falcons 1st and 10 here as Ridder gets them ready.
At their own 21.
38. Wait.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
1:58 left to play till we hit halftime.
Here we go.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Heel, left. Blue, go. Red, red. Green, jack. Blaster, sit. Ready.
They're going to look to throw.
Pass complete to Tolbert on the crossing route. And he's going to get this down inside the 40 before he's finally ridden out of bounds.
It's a big play there for Atlanta. 41 yards.
And that might be exactly what they needed to wake up this home crowd. They haven't given them much to cheer for so far, and never underestimate the effect the home crowd with you can have on a game.
Back to throw now on first down. He'll rifle this one deep right side.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And the Packers are going to take over at their own 2-yard line.
CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape, he's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. In his own end zone, it's Rodgers. And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete.
He's got room past the 30.
It's a big play there for Green Bay. 44 yards.
You get a rookie tight end who can run like this, it just gives this offense a different dimension than they've had. It's going to be fun to watch his development and how this offense expands as this season moves along.
And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
From just shy of midfield, Rodgers drops it to Jones in the flat.
And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like...
That's caught inside the 20. And the timeout comes in with 2 seconds remaining. So they can trot out the field goal unit for the try before we hit the lockers. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the left hash, this from 34.
Up and good for Santoso.
And that will do it for this first half. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. It'll be Falcons football, and they trail here as we get back underway on EA Sports. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And we'll see, Charles, if they had a chance to hit the reset button at halftime. They have not scored. They're facing this big deficit. And if they're going to come back, it's going to have to start right now.
Yeah, and for them, it's not dwelling in the negative because, yes, they were totally ineffective in the first half. But we've seen many games that have flipped around in the second half. It all starts with this drive right here. They get something good going, put some points on the board, they begin to have hope.
And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down. Now a handoff up the middle. Wilcox. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
On the move past the 40.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
And an excellent job of finding the opening as he's got this now all the way down to the 22.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. On play action, they'll throw.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Jair Alexander.
And the Packers are going to take possession here at their own 6-yard line.
Well, I think everyone who's watching was certainly hoping to see things get a little bit better for them in this half, weren't we? But it was a downright miserable first half that's carried over with an interception to begin the second half. That's a defeated offense right there, and there's still a lot of game left. I don't think that's the last turnover we're going to see today, partner.
It's a gain of 34, so that play much needed there as they're all the way up near the 40 for a 1st and 10. And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. They find some open field here. Touchdown, Packers!
We know it's primarily a passing league now, but anytime a runner breaks one like that, you've got to have a secondary that can find a way to it and find a way to get him on the ground. Absent of that, he's going to find the end zone every time.
Extra point up and good from Santoso.
And the lead is now 24.
Pat O'Donnell set to kick off.
After the touchdown on is Pat O'Donnell to send this one away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line.
As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in the second half.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now back to throw.
Oh, he's got his tight end pitch complete. And he is going to have a Falcons 1st down, and he was able to get it by plenty. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 3.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a 1st down.
On 1st down, Wilcox. Room here to run. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45.
55 rushing yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
The running game fully in sync, 1-11 on that play.
And sometimes it comes from the offensive coordinator, understanding what he thinks the defense is going to do and dialing up the perfect play. Sometimes the quarterback, though, can look at the defense, realize he needs to change it to a run, and that gets it done in a big way as well.
And this will be taken across midfield and into Green Bay territory. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
On 2nd down, Wilcox. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Play number 7 coming on this drive. It's 3rd and inches. They'll keep it on the ground. Wilcox trying to barrel up in there, but I don't think he got it. They'll be marked inches short. No gain on the play, and that's going to lead them to 4th down.
Here we go. Ready.
They'll look to throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Falcons go for it, but it doesn't work out. And the Packers D comes up with a big stop. Rodgers will bring the Pack up with a 1st and 10 at the 45. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
got his man there complete to Gallup. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Touchdown, Packers. A big play there. With 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game.
And the Packers are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter. Extra point try now for Santoso.
And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. And they won't be able to run another play. Time has expired on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Pat O'Donnell set to kick off.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
Well, this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone.
The Falcons take over 1st and 10 at their own 16-yard line.
Ready, set.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. It's been a tough go for them, and it's still without any points here in the 4th quarter. And a big deficit, Charles, but they moved the football on some drives. They just haven't had any points.
Yeah, and I know in their minds they're thinking the game plan has actually been working. We just haven't scored points. Well, isn't that the bottom line, partner? To put points on the board? So if you're moving it and you're not scoring, is it really working? Right now, they've got nothing left to lose. They might as well go for broke.
That's taken in by Henderson. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
Brings up 3rd down.
They'll look to throw here. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
A loss of 3 on the sack made by multiple defenders.
Well, I wish the staff luck as they try to find positives about this performance by their offense as we move through the early part of the 4th quarter. That sack, the latest example. Down by a boatload, this offense simply can't keep up, and the quarterback is still taking hits. I'd get the backups in there if it were me.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. An inside give to Jones. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps.
And it's a Packers touchdown. 4 touchdown passes now for Aaron Rodgers.
And the Packers add another 6 points to what's going to be a blowout victory. So, Charles, the bad taste from that opening week loss, that's just a memory now. This has been a very strong performance as they score once again.
Yeah, I know it's only week 2, but you're exactly right because this team felt like they let one get away in the opener. And not only were they determined to not let the same thing happen here, they knew that they had to correct a bunch of things. So everything went wrong in game 1. They took care of business with it in game 2.
Pat O'Donnell set to kick off.
After the touchdown on is Pat O'Donnell to send this one away. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone.
The Falcons take over 1st and 10 at their own 16-yard line.
On the set.
About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. Well, I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the 4th quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film session tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mentioned in the NFL. And this loss, it already stings and will for a while, but everyone on that offense knows it'll sting a lot worse if they don't put some points up on the board.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Black Ultra.
They'll drop to throw. Looking deep downfield.
Well, this is intercepted. They get Ritter for the third time. Picked off by Eric Stokes.
Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for them.
Jones hit and the ball's out. So they've got the football and they'll start right on the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line.
You and I have been around teams, and they all have goals for games, don't they? And every team we've ever talked to says what?
No turnover.
Don't turn the ball over. 0. And they were that close to getting it done. Won't cost them today, but they'll hate that when they're watching the game tape.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Going down the middle, and it's complete.
And the Falcons are going to have a first and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line.
Back to throw here. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. A great play there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Falcons are finally into the end zone here in this fourth quarter. Extra point by Koo, up and good, as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. And this one's going to be covered up by the Packers hands team. Now they're down big here in the fourth. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Another try after the first down sack. Rodgers under pressure, and they got to him again.
Well, the number one mission of any offensive line, you got to protect that quarterback, keep him safe back there. This time, the rush got to him in a hurry.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. 46 on his first kick, this one in that neighborhood as well. That'll be a 43-yard punt, just a single yard on the return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but and his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And into the end zone. It's a pick six and a Packer touchdown. So now Rodgers will lead the Packers up to go for 2. So after the INT, it's Rodgers. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
I know we could sit up here and dance around it a little bit, but going for 2 in this situation, somebody doesn't like someone else. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, what they couldn't see is you lean back in your chair and you went, yeah, that's not a good decision. They didn't get it, though.
Yeah, I don't think you can just say, well, my kicker's hurt in this. No, okay.
And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD, but unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
And my goodness, another interception. picked off by Jair Alexander.
And the Packers are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line.
So good field position for the Packers as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 42.
Rodgers throw here into the hands of Moore.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Things are rocking easy here in the 4th quarter. They've got to feel pretty good about this one. Actually, they've got to feel excellent. Tough loss in the opener. No way they wanted to go 0-2.
I don't want to read too much into it, but psychologically, is there something much bigger about 0-2 than 0-1?
Oh, without a doubt. And here's the biggest one. Guys like you and me, all the media, are going to talk about, well, you know how hard it is to make the playoffs when you start 0-2, and that starts to work its way through a team.
And now they're working towards 1-1.
And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is in the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
The first down play, to be frank, nothing short of awful, and now they have to deal with 2nd and very long. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
And a short gain here across the 10 to the 12. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
26.
Rodgers throwing here. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. As that lead just swells and swells. Look, this has been dominance in all 3 phases, offense, defense, and special teams.
So don't we have to give a lot of credit, not just to what we've seen today, but the preparation in advance, coaching staff, commitment by the players to the game plan, and being ready to go in this one? You're exactly right. Clean sweep. And, boy, they're going to celebrate this one after it's over.
And on the other side, this is the game film you just flush and never go back and review.
And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message.
And now here is another interception. Adrian Amos with a pick.
And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. Another great play defensively. They've been sharp on both sides of the ball, Charles, but that interception means that this defense very well keep them down to single digits on the scoreboard in this game.
And that's certainly something to smile about, isn't it, partner?
And give them another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
Well, when they said before the game that they were going to try and execute every second of this contest, I guess that was taken literally, because here they are in the final moments of the 4th, putting another touchdown on the board, Charles, to add to this big lead.
I'm not a big believer in 110%, but it certainly applies here, doesn't it? Because some guys just can't go with less. As long as there's time left on the clock, they're pushing to get to the end zone one more time. They don't really care about what the optics show. They just want to finish the game off the way that they like to play it. Full speed, all out.
Here we go.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you're going to go to the film, find out where the game was really lost. But this is not a situation now where you're going to make up for anything.
We'll see what they do here.
Ready?
On second down now, Wilcox. And he is going to be stopped here for no gain, and that is going to be the final play.